can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that.
Come on, y'all. It's the gang. They're all here, and look at this live stream we got going on for you tonight on the first night of 2021, the first Friday night of 2021, and the first night of the rest of your life, and the first night, this next night is the first night on our new album.
This is news to all of us.
Yeah, I remember doing that album a second ago. Wow, crazy times. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Here, here.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
Chanukah.
New Year.
Happy
New
Chanukah.
Year to you. Happy New Year. By the way, is my sign backwards?
Nope, it looks good. I had the same question, but it's fine for us.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're reminding me with that birthday song there, Pharaoh, that as of today, being January 1st, there's a number of works that once again have been released into the public domain, and this is going to keep happening. By the way, folks, as artists, we need to be really aware of all this stuff. But back in 1927, with what the Robert Frost stopping by woods on a snowy evening, and so many other works. Every year. Does somebody want to go into the basic history of Mickey Mouse and why copyright law is so screwed up in this country?
I think that's going to have to be you, Dan.
Rock and roll. Okay, let me Google. Let me pull up some Google facts on Wikipedia, and I'll be right back with that lesson for everyone.
Now, I could be mistaken because I don't have my dates on this particular era like completely memorized, but isn't it like 1919 the first jazz song by that Italian jazz band was released, right? Was that 1919? Yeah, they got something, the credit for Crazy Jazz, I believe.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, there's an Italian band that's usually credited as releasing the first jazz record, recording and releasing the first jazz record. Jazz had been going on. It had been a thing for a minute, but they got the jump on it, and it was widely sold. It got all around the world. I'm trying to figure out if it was 1919 or like it was somewhere in there between 1919 and 1921. So if that record is free now, I think we should sample it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of sampling from the jug
Great
bands.
Gatsby is free. Sorry, what?
I like the idea of sampling from the jug bands, but sampling from Great Gatsby is also an excellent idea.
Yeah, a lot of those recordings are not too great on sound quality for sampling, unless that's the aesthetic you're going for.
It is.
It is. Yes.
It's gonna work. Yes. Also, another tricky thing is that we're talking about U.S. copyright, but different countries around the world have different copyright going on. So it might be now in the public domain in one place, but not another.
No. They're an Italian jazz band that's out of New Orleans. The original Dixieland jazz band. That's what they were called.
Yeah,
it was 1917.
I'm just saying if we're at the year where they're falling into public domain based on U.S. copyright law, that may or may not be the same situation for releasing it outside the United States.
But that does beg the question: what are the songs can we steal in other places?
Rich, I don't think this is working the way you say it's supposed to be working.
No, that's it.
Over my entire body.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's exactly right.
So what that means is you need to turn the green screen feature off.
Can we do? Wait. But Arson, before you do that, don't do that.
What's up with those eyes? Look at the eyes. This is creepy.
I think you have to click the part that says uncheck the box that says I have a green screen because
don't do that. Don't check the box.
No,
we all know that you are Randall Green.
You're staying like that forever.
Which is why
that's what's up.
The voice of reason. You are just the voice.
It's Randall Green screen.
It was a Randall Green screen there.
Oh my god! Wow.
So this just said that my computer doesn't meet the minimum requirements to use this feature without a green screen.
Yes.
I have no idea what that even means.
That was true of my old Mac laptop as well. So yeah, that's.
Apparently, I have the third computer ever made. Crazy.
I need to check on those hamsters.
Yeah. Right.
They running.
And the squid in your printer.
See, that's pretty cool that you got hamsters. Mine runs on spiders, and it's really hard to get them to work.
Well, at least it has
You
web
got
access.
Usually people have like 60, 64, or 32 hamsters. I got arachnids.
But one of these things just doesn't belong here. And now it's time to play our game. It's time to play our game. Okay, now look at there. And we got a hammer, and got a shoe, and pliers, and a saw. Okay? All right, now
Can you guess which thing just doesn't belong?
You know what's funny is that whoever arranged those items has never lived in the hood. Every last one of those items belong in the same room.
What were the items again?
It's like a hammer, a saw, a shoe,
And pliers.
and pliers.
Right. I was like, they kind of all go together, right?
Yeah. I've definitely used a shoe as a tool a number of times.
But you also don't want to be sawing stuff without shoes on, like just as a general practice.
Right.
You know, podiatric safety.
What happens if you drop the hammer and you're not wearing shoes?
You know what?
Precisely.
I literally saw someone taking a circular saw. I saw someone taking a circular saw to some like pipe or something, and sparks were flying everywhere. And he was wearing shorts. He was wearing shorts. That's all I have to say.
It's a good way to go.
If you had to choose a way to go, that might
You
be one.
want to feel it. You want to be in touch with the experience
Right.
of what you're doing.
It's one way to get a tattoo. Tattoos, I mean.
You're going for that kill mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is sort of depressing. There are no new sound recordings in the public domain in the United States this year.
What?
Why?
Under the Music Modernization Act, works published in 1925 will not enter the public domain until 2026.
See, that's BS, and you know what? That's Jack White hoarding a bunch of money.
Because he is from 1925?
I think he owns the rights to like the entirety of Paramount or a couple of old labels.
I don't think it's Jack White. I think there's some pretty big, powerful publishing companies that have much deeper pockets than him.
Well, anyways, I'm coming for you, Jack White.
Yeah.
By that, I just, I think you're cool and I want to talk some more.
Or we could just come up with new stuff.
Yep. We got Richard Durslag is back on the chat.
Hey, Richard.
In the house. Dawn's here. And Linda in the Twitch, of course, saying what's up. And welcoming Danjo back on the stream.
I kind of like the abstract art happening in Arsen's panel here.
Love it.
I feel like this is how he becomes the voice.
Oh, no one can see me.
The fabric of the universe has actually had to start cracking.
That definitely looks like it should be a new feature of Zoom.
No, I think that's special
First
for
green
us.
screen.
That's pretty sweet.
That's the 2020 filter, where the fabric of the universe actually cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what's up, party people? How's it? What did people do out there in the Twitch and Facebook and YouTube land? What was your New Year's Eve like? And how's 2021 going for you so far? And what would you like to kick off 2021 asking Gangstagrass about? Now that we have our awesome new unified backdrop aesthetic.
That it is.
Yeah, we're coming into 2021.
Unified.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all what I did for New Year's because it was nice. Good, thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, wait, are you guys all in front of your green screens? Is that what's happening here?
No,
No, I'm not.
Oh,
We're not.
we're just using the Zoom automatic thing, but it sounds like your computer is not ready to do that.
It's not. I don't know why. It's fairly new.
it looks great.
Yeah, if I was using my green screen, I would have both my ears.
All right, I didn't mean to put any suspense behind what I was about to say, but someone asked me if I wanted pizza, which was cool, random, but cool. Yesterday, me and my neighbors in Nisada just made a big old fire, cooked some fish, caught some fish earlier in the day. All the neighbors in that area just turned on some music, and it was a nice time. It was a cool conversation. It was dope. It was a lovely time for my last night in Nisada. Topic.
It's your last night, and I'm very confused about where you are.
I am in San Jose because I left something at Jesus's place, so I'm picking it up, and I got a hotel here, and then I go to Punta Morales to work on the shipyard for a bit. That's what I'm up to right now.
Okay. All right. Working on a shipyard in a pandemic. That's the kind of job that needs to be done. So way to put your healthy self out there.
And sounds like a chill New Year's.
Yeah.
It was a pretty chill New Year's. It was nice.
Nothing better than fresh caught fish.
I can't. They made ceviche and it was delicious. Every bit of ceviche I had in Masada was delicious.
We look forward to being able to be in other countries again, and we hope that you're able to come back to this country.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, I hope so too. I really do. My Spanish is improving, but it's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, did everybody notice that we have a new emote in the Twitch channel?
I was just going to mention that. I was just in the Twitch noticing we have gritty. You can use a gritty emote, and it will flash across the screen.
Gritty was hanging out with me Tuesday night. It was dope.
Sweet. Pictures. Show us the pictures.
No, I mean Tuesday when I did the.
Oh, okay. I get it. Oh, yeah.
Me and Gritty was chilling.
Speaking of this Tuesday, we're going to have Arson on the stream, and we'll say a little something about MF Doom.
Yeah, this Tuesday is all about Doom. I'm going full Doom. He was a wild dude, man. Like, I know a couple cats that went to Doom shows, and they were Doom bots performing That's what he would, Doom used to rock the mask, right? There was more than one show where he would show up where it wasn't him. It was somebody else in the mask doing the whole show. Like one of them famously was Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
good. That's
Was most Def one
hilarious.
time too, right?
I think most did one. But I saw this great post that was like, because supposedly he passed away on October 31st.
Yep.
And the post said, like, that's the most doomed thing ever.
Mhm.
He died in October and nobody knew about it.
Mhm.
And so henceforth, in the same tweet, somebody was like, so does that mean that from now on October 31st is no longer Halloween and it's Doomsday? I was like, yeah, I'm all about that. Yeah, October 31st is Doomsday, and that's all there is to it. I posted something about it earlier on the Facebook page. A couple people didn't know who he was. MF Doom was an amazing MC. He's been in the game since first joint that he ever dropped was in '91. It was in a group called KMD. Causing much damage.
First time I heard him was on Gasface.
Yeah. He was on Gasface on Third Base's Gasface, and then the KMD album dropped. It was him, his brother Zev Love X.
Oh,
and
no,
Onyx
he was
his brother.
Was,
I'm sorry, his brother Sub Rock.
Sub Rock. He was.
Yeah, Sub Rock was his brother. He went by Zev Love X, and then Sub Rock passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So they put out the first album. What's the name of that album? I was just listening to it. The second album they put out was called Black Bastards, and the album art, the cover of the art was a Sambo character being lynched, and he had actually drawn the art, and his idea was that it was the death of that character, right? Elektra Records wasn't feeling it, so they dropped him from the label and didn't release the album. The album subsequently came out, and then after that, he reinvented himself, created the character of MF Doom, and just put out some gems, some absolute gems. His album Doomsday, the joint he did with Madlib, Mad Villainy. He put out a couple of instrumental joints. He had a couple of different aliases. He put out a couple of Victor Vaughn joints. He put out an album with Danger Mouse called Danger Doom. That was phenomenal. That Danger Doom record is insane. And had been doing work. Did work with a bunch of the all-time greats. There's an amazing joint on the DJ Premier and Royce the 5'9" out the Prime album with him, Doom, him, Royce, and Fonte. And it's just a magnificent joint. And so Tuesday, I'm gonna go full Doom with just some of his.
Highly recommend tuning in Tuesday night, especially anybody out there that feels like they don't already know about MF Doom. There's no better place you could go to get in on it and get it explained than from the mouth of the voice of reason, who's going to break it down and play some MF Doom on this channel right here on Tuesday night.
He was the MC's MC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really was, man. He really, really was. That dude, he said some stuff, bro. Like, you go back and read some of the randomness this guy was talking. And you're like, wait, what? Okay, all right, sure.
It's funny. I was when I was at home in November for my grandmother's funeral. I was talking to one of my younger cousins about one of Doom's records. In particular, it was Rap Snitches.
Yeah, Rap Snitches.
And it was like basically the record, although it was like 15, 20 years ago he put the record out. It's like it perfectly explains what's happening right now with a lot of popular rappers.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. A lot of these cats getting caught up in stuff that they was talking about on record and in interviews and all kinds of goofball stuff like that. Like, well, that's why you got caught doing it, goof, because you out here in the streets on these records talking about what you're doing.
Like, do you see the purple? Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that I woke up this morning and that song was just playing in my head. Just the beat is sick too.
It is disgusting. So good, man. So yeah, man, MF Doom, rest in peace.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we got a team stream since losing Tony Rice as well, but Mike Russell brought it in the Facebook comments.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you talk about MC's MC. Tony Rice was definitely the guitar player's guitar player. Guy basically, you know, in a maybe sort of a similar way to how Earl Scruggs didn't like invent the banjo or even invent three-finger style of banjo playing. What Earl did was sort of popularize the style and just make really like the definitive developments of the style in the way that we know it now as sort of a fundamental part of bluegrass. And Tony did a very similar thing with his guitar playing, but chronologically, I mean, he was really in sort of the next generation. And what he did, I mean, he you know, like on the granular level, like he has so many great licks and they are so ridiculously popular now that they're just, it's kind of a given cliche that, you know, you put a guitar in the hands of a bluegrass guitar player and they're gonna reach for some Tony Rice lick or other. But that's just because they're so great. They're so terrific. His whole style of playing, for me personally, you know, and we can talk about like his history, which I'm not versed in everything that he's done, just because he did a bunch of stuff. He played with David Grisman. He was really a central part of a lot of people's different sounds and albums that they did. But for me, a lot of the stuff that I love about Tony, kind of like the stuff I love with Bela Fleck, who's also a very diverse player. But some of my favorite stuff that I love that he did was just the traditional bluegrass stuff, just the really straight ahead tradgrass. He was just so good. He had such a great sound on the instrument, which was Clarence White's guitar, by the way, from the Byrds. And I only just read the story. I assumed that he got it from him, but apparently the story with the guitar is that like somehow it left Clarence White's possession maybe when he died, and Tony was like, well, where did it go? Well, I went to some pawn shop. So Tony went to some pawn shop and found this guitar and was like, that's the one. And he went in with like a couple $100 cash, which I guess was a lot then. Anyway, so that's sort of his lineage. He sounded great on this guitar, but I mean, his voice too, like you think about bluegrass singing, right? And 9 out of 10 singers you're going to name are going to be high tenor, sort of following after Bill Monroe. But Tony Rice was one of the greatest, you know, baritone singers, the greatest bluegrass baritone singers ever. I don't know. I mean, I don't how many other really great baritone bluegrass singers are there at all? And then he's just what a great somebody. People better than I have described this guy really well, and there's a number of good articles that are out there. He just was so clear. Like he was rarely emotional. I mean, they describe his voice as kind of stoic, which it was, but it was just so beautiful. He just had such a beautiful voice and a beautiful guitar, and he delivered them both kind of plainly, and then the stuff that he did with the guitar, it just was something else. The thing that I love most about what he did too was just as a rhythm player, like as a backup guitar player. The solos are flashy and the solos are great, but just the way that he would back somebody up or play under his own singing, which he did a lot of good solo albums, a lot of good duo albums. That's the thing. I want to be known for this. Like, you go and listen to some of my favorite albums of his are, a lot of people cite his solo albums, which are great. My favorites are his duo albums. So you've got Ricky Skaggs, who kind of officially announced Tony's passing. Ricky Skaggs, they were very close. Skaggs and Rice, fantastic, like, you know, seminal album. Like, you're gonna say this about all of these albums, but each of these is like, that's the seminal duo album. And then Norman Blake still kicking around, still doing his thing. Blake and Rice did 2 albums, and both of those are just like some of the best stuff that Norman Blake has done, and some of the best stuff that Tony Rice has done. And Skaggs and Rice is some of the best stuff that Ricky Skaggs has done. So that, to me, is an extremely high mark as a musician. I think when you collaborate with somebody and you bring out their best, and you do that consistently over multiple albums, yeah, I'm done. That's all. Just Tony Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a lot of love for Tony Rice in the chats.
A lot of love. And if you don't know who he is, that's okay. But go, and like I said, man, go right to those duo albums. If you know him, but you haven't heard those albums, listen. If you know Blake and Rice, but you didn't know Blake and Rice 2, go listen to Blake and Rice 2. Go, you know, and yeah, how many bands are doing breakdowns of both? You know, like, I posted something about that earlier. I would love us to do like some sort of a MF Doom Tony Rice track of some. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it.
Yeah, Dan's responding to putting it in the chat, like, how many bands this week are doing breakdowns on the legacy of Tony Rice and of MF Doom.
Yeah,
that's America
Not
right
many.
there.
I mean,
and actually, you know, a lot of my bluegrass friends, I've noticed, are mourning MF Doom as well. So, like, this is kind of the point that we get at a lot of the time, is that, you know, it's not like bluegrass lives over here, hip hop lives over here. Like, we all of us, you know, us and you know, we all know more about each other than we might think. So it makes sense.
We also lost Ecstasy.
Yeah,
oh, man, that was a good drive.
Yeah, man. We lost
Not now,
Ecstasy.
Pharaoh.
Did Molly just take over?
Not now, Pharaoh.
Okay.
In the span of like a week and a half, we lost Ecstasy, Shabba-Doo, and MF Doom. Shabba-Doo, for those who don't know,
yeah, he was a breakdancer's breakdancer.
if you've ever seen the movie Breaking, the character Ozone, he passed away this week. He was 65 years old, which still messes with my head. A lot of cats don't remember. For the real OGs, he was on he was on at least one episode of. Do you know both? He was on one episode of a show called What's Happening.
Because Rerun was
trying to get a job dancing with this group called the Rockets, and Rerun was the chubby kid, right? And so their manager was like, imagine it, 5 rockets and a moon, right? And he was one of the guys on there. Somebody posted one of the scenes where he's like starts dancing with him on, and Shabba-Doo's the first one that gets up and starts getting it in. But if you ever seen Breaking and Breaking 2, the man could dance his behind off. Not that great an actor, but man, could that dude dance. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I went back and I watched Breaking. Like Breaking I can watch again. I've watched it multiple times. That's my joint. And it doesn't feel as bad. Breaking 2, holy Jesus, that movie.
Well,
oh my.
You have to say the full name. You have to say the full name.
Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
You have to.
He was also an original Soul Train dancer.
Yes, he was an original Soul Train dancer as well. That was quite a film. That Breaking 2. Yeah. If you wanna get in all of bad film at one time, go ahead and watch Breaking 2 and you're good. It is man, they were like, yo, we need to get the last of this this breakdance money from these movies real quick right now. Ready? Let's do this right now. All right.
That's right.
There's actually a documentary about that film production company, because it was pretty much their model. It's like finding whatever was the popular thing and then they're making a movie about it.
Yeah.
Remember, they also were responsible for the Ninja series.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, Ninja 1, Ninja 2, and then Ninja 3 to Domination,
Right.
which also starred Kelly from Breaking.
Right, that's where they got it from.
Yeah, man. They I forget the name of that film company too. Yeah, man, that was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare.
But Ecstasy was, was lead MC in Houdini, which was, I believe, the first rap group to go platinum.
I think they were, yeah. And Houdini had some gems, man. Friends, One Love,
5 Minutes
Freaks Come Out at Night. 5 Minutes of Funk was my joint. That's such a great record, dude. Oh my God.
Big Mouth.
Yeah.
That was my joint.
Big mouth, big mouth. You got a big mouth.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was. They brought lyricism at a time when when lyrics weren't really that deep.
Yeah, they brought it a lot harder than cats were expecting people to at the time.
And you don't get without Ecstasy and Houdini, you don't get Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like in the 8th grade or something when he started with them.
He was working for them. Yeah. Oh, God. I forgot all about that.
What's the timeline we're talking about here? Just so we get a sense of where this is in history.
This is early 80. Between 83 and 87. Yeah, around that time.
There's another someone that passed recently that maybe you guys know about, but I know about him because in high school I played one of his pieces with a flute player of mine. But Claude Bowling just passed, and Claude Bowling is he's a French piano player, and he comes from this school where jazz was just getting over to France during World War II. So he's one of the first generations of jazzers to really pick it up in Europe. And he ended up playing with folks like Lonnie Johnson, Django Reinhardt in his youth, Buck Clayton, like really cool off the beaten paths. Roy Eldridge was another one. Jazz cats, and he made this group of suites, like jazz suites, and I thought they weren't going to be cool when I was in high school, but my teacher suggested them to me, and they're the only cool composed thing, through composed thing for jazz that I've ever checked out. And I didn't know this, but apparently the first thing that he did with Jean-Pierre Rampal, another French flautist, it was like over 500 weeks on the first spot on the Billboard classical charts.
500 weeks. We have a guest vocalist tonight.
We do. Who is that?
Might as well just put them on the stream.
Yeah. Pharaoh, is that your end?
Yep. Somebody's definitely singing in Pharaoh's.
Oh,
Pharaoh's
you
realm.
guys hear it, but I don't. My headsets are pretty good.
Oh, that's so wild. Yeah, it's pretty loud.
It's very loud. Yep.
Yeah. All right, and
And what did Gangstagrass do for New Year's Eve, by the way?
Oh.
We got to be featured in a special New Year's Eve virtual party with a virtual Times Square going down, thrown by American Music Abroad. Very cool.
Is that still available to be? It was live.
Yeah,
but can
it's
we
still
still?
up.
That's
Do you
right.
still see it? Okay.
You can go to gangstagrass.com/NYE or gangstagrass.com/New Year's Eve. We set them both up. And when you do that, you will see the video embedded in that page. It is on YouTube as well, but an easy way to get there is gangstagrass.com/NYE, and you will see the whole performance. So that's everybody, all the different bands that participated, and the DJ set and the whole thing. That's all there in that hour. And the way it was produced is so amazing. Shout out to Virtue Live for
Virtual Live, yeah, and our friends at American Music Abroad. Shout out to Jazzy Parker
here
for hooking us up with this chance to try this technology that allowed us to actually play together while connecting from our homes and different cities. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it came together really well.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really well. So what you're seeing when you watch that is Gangstagrass on a virtual stage in a virtual Times Square, but each of those individual people was actually in their own home at the time. So Wrench was in Brooklyn, and Dolio was in Philly, and everybody was all in these different places, putting in both the audio and the video from there. Just remarkable. How was it to play together in that way?
It was just exciting after months of not being able to. It was really a thrill to suddenly, even though we're not next to each other, be bouncing notes off of each other and interacting in real time is not like anything else.
Yeah, and maybe it's worth like really driving home that so somebody in the comments was asking like that was actually live and not stitched together, right? So normally most of the videos that you've seen us that look like this with the squares, like we're on a Zoom call, normally that's what we do is, we'll have a shared cue audio track, and then we each individually record the videos, and then we'll stitch them together later, which we can do because there's a track and everything. This was not that. So it was pretty cool. We played live. I mean, can I admit that we did we pre-recorded the whole performance, and that was then played, last night. But when we shot it, we were all doing it at the same time, synchronous. So I just want to drive that point home. Like we do the sort of thing that looks like live. We do that a lot. But this was actually, and it really hinged on the audio part of it being very close to, zero latency. That was the most impressive thing.
Right, because that's amazing when you think about it.
It was really like we had the classic switchboard situation, like in the 1950s, where you got someone just in the background really punching and plugging in the digits to make sure everything was working cool, because we were working really closely with Eric's team, which was really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, just when you think about how far the signals had to travel, it had to get between New York and Baltimore, and it also had to be, between Baltimore and New Jersey and Philadelphia and New York, and all of that had to be happening. Everybody had to be getting everybody's signals in microseconds in order to be able to play synchronously together. So it's just a tremendous feat of engineering and technical amazingness. So yeah, keep an eye out for Virtue Live, because they're doing some really awesome things. And the tech that we used, as far as I know, is not available to the public yet.
Yeah.
Nolly D just popped into the YouTube chat.
Hey, Nolly D.
Always amazing to see. And it was very cool, and also really exciting in terms of thinking about what early days it is for it too, because these are like the early trials of this technology, right? And we know that things get better and better as they go, and just thinking about the potential as we do this more. Also, like on the band end, like our first time playing while standing in front of green screens and playing together, right? Like there's there's so much that could be crafted around that and gotten better at. So I'm sort of excited to see what the future is going to bring with this.
Yep.
Here, here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what else did folks do for New Year's Eve besides watching Gangstagrass on the YouTube, John?
I had some folks across the street with the fireworks show being set off from the roof.
Safety.
And
There he is.
the other side of the block is a large apartment building, so the fireworks were like right in front of all these windows, which garnered a real mix of "that was awesome" and "shut the hell up, stop it, what are you doing?"
All right, looks like Archie Ray Music had some nice cocktails and wrote a song.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. And Pharaoh, we know, had fish. Yeah. What about you, Danjo? Did you go to bed before midnight?
No. My kid did, which we're thankful for. No, we stayed up. We watched the whole show. You know, it's cool. I mean, it was live, but then it was pre-recorded. I like being able to watch a show that I'm in. This is cool.
Yeah, you don't actually get to do that so often.
Yeah. Nope. Stayed up, watched it, and went to sleep. Stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's a little tradition. My wife and I, as it turns out, like we've always spent New Year's together. Which, as a musician, you know, you miss birthdays, you miss anniversaries, you miss all kinds of things. But New Year's just happens to be one. Even if I do have a gig, like she would come to the gig. So yeah, it's a nice reliable thing.
This year's New Year's Eve gig, I am very sorry we were not able to do.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to the Purple Fiddle, all the folks in Thomas, West Virginia.
Yep, we were originally booked to play a New Year's Eve party at the Purple Fiddle in Thomas, West Virginia. It would be awesome, and who knows? Maybe a year from now, we'll be rocking it.
Hopefully.
One of our favorite spots.
Tested the floor there.
Mm-hmm.
My cat jumped up. He wants to be on the stream.
Don't they all?
Don't they all? They do. Oh, Curious Bird was just mentioning. I guess one of the bands had. I'm assuming you're talking about like when you say one of those square harp guitar things, do you mean like the square harp guitar keyboard thing, the harpeggi, where they like press it? But probably not that. Do you mean that, or what do you mean? Do you mean like an auto harp, or what?
I'm thinking like a harmonium right now.
Harmonium, but that wouldn't be. That's less like. That's neither like a guitar or a harp. That's like a horizontal accordion keyboard.
Well, I was just guessing that they're wrong with one of the words.
I mean, it's a lot of words. Square harp guitar thing. Does anybody remember this? Anybody remember?
Oh, auto harp.
Well, that's what I thought. Maybe auto harp. Yeah, but was somebody playing an auto harp last night?
Might have missed.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll have to rewatch it, which you can do anytime you want at
Yeah.
gangstagrass.com/NYE.
Yeah, Curious Bird, let us know if you remember which band it was. I think I watched the whole thing, but I don't remember any kind of auto harp, and I usually catch that thing. Like the thing the HU plays.
The HU?
Noli was saying cigar box guitar?
Those are
Maybe
fun.
was somebody playing a cigar box guitar? I missed all this.
Yeah, I think I might have missed that too. I might have been walking to the kitchen to get something else to eat.
Yeah, I was at game night. That was my my New Year's Eve. So I will admit that I missed some portion of the show, knowing that I was going to get to go and watch it again when
it was good though. It was a good time. Delamay, was there. It was good.
Yeah, Oh yeah, well we got to see
Um,
Delamay in the preview, so fortunately I
Yeah.
already got to see their piece, which was excellent, really really
Yeah.
funny, such a funny song. I like that a lot.
Some good
Yeah.
funky jams.
Yeah.
So this is just pertinent to my interest, but Archie Ray over in the chat was asking, what is the best thing to do? That's always my favorite question. What's the best thing to do when a musical influence passes away?
I mean, doing this is a good start, right? Just
Yeah.
reminiscing and sharing the legacy. Talking about this person, and a lot of times people don't discover artists until after they're gone, and it's
Yeah.
one of those very bittersweet things where you're so happy to have found this artist and so sad that you're not going to be getting anything more from them, but just to share
Yeah.
that legacy is really important. So
The sad thing too, I mean, obviously it's sad, when somebody dies in their 40s, still relatively young. The sad thing with Tony Rice, though, and I mean, I really like started paying attention to music around maybe like 2000 and so, and 1999 was kind of the end, very close to the functional end of Tony Rice's musical career. He was, unfortunately, I mentioned he was a really great guitar player and he was a really great singer, and he had a number of physical ailments that ultimately prevented him from playing guitar, and he had dysphonia, which prevented him from singing. So it was real, and this is like ultimately 20 years. I mean, I think it deteriorated. So for a while, I mean, he was alive for the past 20 years, and I was running around making music professionally, but yeah, he really had kind of a quiet period for the last couple decades, which is heartbreaking in a different way, I think. But yeah, to your point, I mean, you find out about somebody after they're gone or after they're unable to keep making music. It's kind of a bummer. What else? Anybody else? What else is the best thing to do?
I remember when Mel Hitton, not when he died, when I found out he died. I think I was about a year off. I was a big fan of him. I went through and learned a bunch of his bass lines and just how he was working with the bass. That was a really fun way to get to know him more than I did. Mel Hitton, if you don't know, is a famous jazz player. He played with the Hot Five, Louis Armstrong. I think he played with a lot of the big bands at the time. Who's inappropriately call him the king of jazz, the king of swing. Not Benny Goodman. Yeah, Benny Goodman. I remember the best memory I have of Mel Hitton is checking him out on a bunch of other records, then listening to Benny Goodman's band and just thinking that they didn't swing that hard. And I hated that they called Benny Goodman the king of swing because his band did not swing that hard at all. But there was a track on one of his albums where Mel Hitton was subbing in on the bass and completely changed the vibe of the band. And that's like one of my points of realizing how influential just like good bassing can drive a band.
good basing indeed.
Yeah.
So just remembering Mel Hitton. I was listening to Trio GP the other day. So Trio GP with Branford Marsalis. Branford Marsalis did a great job on the Ma Rainey soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. When you talk about musicians and how they affected the other people that they played with, that's often just a really profound way of measuring what somebody really did.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just celebrating their works. I'm with Pharaoh on the studying of the things that they did with their works. because a lot of things you might appreciate a lot of it while they're there, but then after they're no longer there to explain it themselves, you find yourself having to, I guess, look this deeper for other things that you may have missed. Excuse all the background, my son.
No, it's okay. It sounds hilarious.
But yeah, you find you end up spending more time analyzing the stuff that they created without being able to chase any of the new material.
Mm-hmm.
So then you end up getting a lot of the stuff that you may have missed the first few passes. I definitely, for me, I guess it's been a while for him, for his passing, but for me, it was Pimp C from UGK. A lot of people appreciated him as an MC, but without realizing that he also produced a lot of that stuff too. So like appreciating his work as a producer, it was something that I got deeper into, I guess, after his passing. When it was before I was more caught up into like his flow and cadence and his rapping skills and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Producer's work is definitely a thing that goes underappreciated.
Yes. Yes, indeed. At some point, I'm going to write up something on producers, on my pantheon of producers and how much they really influence things. I know I was telling you guys the other day about my kid in sixth grade, whose music teacher was telling him about Nine Inch Nails starting industrial music, and I was like, "Oh no!" And apparently, he was told that that first Nine Inch Nails album was a breakthrough for Trent Reznor using distortion on synthesizers and stuff. And I had to sit him down and be like, "Okay, that's this guy named Flood who produced that album, who had been doing all this awesome experimental stuff like that with stuff before. So now you know it was Flood." And also, same kid, sixth grade. Actually, this was just today. He was grilling me because I recently got him into gorillas.
Nice.
And I mention stuff about producers all the time. So he was noticing. He was like, "Yo, it's the same guy behind this gorilla song is behind Deltron 3030 and Pillow Fight and this other stuff you've been playing me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Man, Dan the Automator, he's the man." So we got some producer education going on here.
That's a good way to learn right there.
Yeah. And I have a new addition to the Pantheon too. I was telling you guys, a producer out of London right now by the name of Inflow that people like definitely have to get hip to. That I found out about by tracking down what was going on with this like mystery collaboration band called SAULT, SAULT, that's been putting out some amazing stuff, and figuring out that it's really this producer Inflow and the other people on the label collaborating with him, and then finding out about all the other stuff that he was producing, and it's just all gold, including he was involved in the Portugal the Man big single that broke last year, Rebel Just for Kicks song, and he was a producer on that Netflix show The Get Down, which explains why that stuff that was like, it sounded like the 80s but even cooler was sounding so cool. It all started to make sense.
Uh-huh. So in a way, you sort of answered the question there. I mean, obviously, Dan the Automator isn't dead, right?
Right, that is correct.
But
we can start the rumor.
Right, but you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing which you should do, which is you tell people, you teach your kids about musicians, and better to do it while they're alive, of course. That's the way. But that's a really good one. Teach your kids. Yeah.
But yeah, another great way to go when an influence of yours passes away is to just try to spread malicious rumors and misinformation about them. Just go for it.
That's a good choice in general, right? Malicious
Yeah.
information and
Yeah.
rumors.
I would say, come up with theories about how they're not really dead.
Yeah.
That was a good way to process your grief.
Yeah, they did that with Pac for about 20
It is a great American tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Pac and Elvis are hanging out somewhere. We all know this.
Yeah.
Spread the word.
I'm sure we all knew this, but Tony Rice was actually 75% black.
There we go.
75%? Hmm.
He did release a record called Native American. That's true. That's a fact, actually, not a made up thing.
What was the other 25%? I'm guessing the mustache.
No, the mustache that was 200%, man. It's weird. People show all these photos like from when he was younger with no mustache, and I'm like, that's just wrong, man. Don't do that.
Oh, that was a clone.
That mustache, Tony Rice. Oh, that mustache. Good mustache.
Yeah.
Really
By
good.
the way, Dan, your facial hair this year has been in a state of constant flux.
Yes.
I do miss the mustache.
No.
You see,
Nope.
you plant the hook, you set the hook,
No.
and then you cut the line, and then they miss the hook. Yeah, I know. It'll come back next November, I'm sure.
No.
Well,
That's
I like
fun,
that.
you know.
Mustaches
Look, hey,
scare
what's-
me, man. Mustaches are genuinely terrifying. Like a mustache.
Yeah,
with
you know, I
nothing
like
else
that
is
you
genuinely
when I
terrifying.
introduced the mustache, you sent me an article about mustaches and their like history with like association with military, and it was mentioning like, you know, great military leaders and like dictators and cults of personality, and I was just like, so do you what?
What you trying to say?
Where's our son when you need him? I just read Invincible, that comic book, and the Viltrumites, they're alien space race. Just think of a space race of Supermans.
Called
and
Kryptonians?
No. The Viltrumites, different people. Kryptonians, they're dead.
Okay,
This is like
not-
if the Kryptonians lived and were like pretty malicious throughout the universe and like a terrible empire that was on the doorstep of Earth. They all have mustaches.
See?
Just saying.
Yeah.
Excellent data point,
Brian,
Pharaoh. Thank
you
you.
have a mustache.
But with other stuff, it's not scary.
With other
I used
stuff.
to.
So is it the presence of a mustache, or is it the absence of the other stuff? Is
No.
it that you don't like a mustache, or is it that you don't like a shaved chin?
No, I'm happy with like if I had my choice, most facial hair would not exist. But I'm with Beverly Crusher on this one. You know this. But it doesn't bother me as long as it's not just a mustache hanging out on its own. Like that's just pure villainy.
I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about just
Unless you're
going ahead and
Wilford
shaving it
Brimley.
all off.
Okay, hang on. I don't know who that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Diabetes.
He was an actor who did
Diabetes.
a series of commercials for Liberty Medical for like diabetes medicine,
And was in Cocoon.
Yeah.
and was
When-
in Cocoon. So
Which
Farrah, what were
I
you
have
saying
not
there?
seen.
And he looked like the guy from the from the Bartles and James commercials.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that on creepy. Like he's on the cartoonish side of creepy, so it's less genuinely terrifying.
I'm sure he was going to be even creepier without the mustache. I don't know because I've never
Interesting.
seen it, but I just like there's some people that just you can't accept
Yeah.
a universe where they don't have the mustache, right? Like
That's just when you get
It's
used
a-
to it.
True
Yeah.
fact. He did shave that mustache once, and underneath it was a smaller mustache.
Hey, but no, seriously, remember when we were all watching Justified, as we all were doing, right? And Sam Elliott was on there.
Mhm.
And spoiler alert, Sam Elliott
right.
shaved his mustache off. And what I want to know
Yeah,
is
it was
around the
heartbreaking.
around the same time, Sam Elliott was on another show. Anybody remember this? Parks and Rec.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sam
Oh
Elliott.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Sam Elliott is creepy as hell.
Yeah, without that mustache, it's like something's wrong with the universe.
No,
Oh,
I
really?
don't. I definitely think the opposite. Also, I just found a picture of Wilford Brimley without a mustache, and he looks like a totally normal dude. I'm
That's weird.
sorry to disappoint.
I do
but
also
he
know
does.
that what's under Chuck Norris's beard is another fist.
So somebody in the comments actually just said that the reason why the Amish won't grow mustaches, and that was what I was thinking of, was like the Amish have the lower beard part and no mustache, as opposed to the opposite. But they, according to the comments, that's why the Amish won't grow mustaches, is because the German military all had mustaches.
So they're like, we're just gonna do opposite day for all time.
For all time. Yeah.
In favor. Also, I just looked up a picture of Sam Elliott without the mustache. Gorgeous. That guy is gorgeous. Who knew?
Everybody who watched Justified knew. You gotta get on that late season Justified.
Can we take a poll? Should I shave all of my facial hair off? Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I don't think I've done it once.
Oh,
Man.
wait. Does
What,
that
done
mean
what?
does that mean we're looking at like more than a decade of facial hair growth?
I mean,
Alright,
If
hey,
so,
easy, guy.
keep that in mind
It's
when you
been-
shave it off.
But
it's been trimmed. I've just never shaved it all off.
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah,
Good,
I used to rock a stash, and then like I had to shave for a part because the character had a scene where he was shaving, and then ever since then, I guess I just got used to not having a stash, except for every now and then I grow it in, and then I become evil Dolio.
You know,
Do you become Tony Searles or something?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like Tony told me that it's pretty sick the way I behave around. But like my boy, my homie Tariq told me he noticed that I actually do become evil when I grow my stash.
Yes, we gotta see.
Yeah.
you know what? I actually used to not want facial hair badly because my dad used to just rock a mustache, and we looked really similar. So he always looked like the evil version of me.
That's awesome.
I don't even know how I got a mustache. In fact, you saying that I had a mustache was the first time, and I've had the thought like, oh, I guess I do have a mustache.
It is true. There's no bad guys without mustaches. I just noticed.
Eh,
So,
There are some, but they are hard to find. Like, well, I guess Barry and Archer, spoiler alert, might not be. Such
I
a
mean,
bad
there was
guy.
one that was quite prominent for like the last 4 years.
See, this is
That's
this
just
is
an
one of those
invisible
things where
mustache.
it's
Invisible
easier
mustache.
to
And just about everybody on his administration.
It's
Super
easier to
fair
just
point.
say that sort of thing, just throw it out there, and then we all have to scramble to disprove
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, there's no bad guys that don't have mustaches. Anyway, moving on.
If you think there are, that's just because you haven't noticed the invisible mustache.
Yeah, tiny little mustache.
Tiny little mustache.
We all got little mustaches. It's tiny little hairs.
Actually, it's really the pencil thin mustaches are even creepy.
Oh man, I actually want to experiment with that. I don't think I have the right hair color for it, but like sometimes I just want to like just get it even like thinner and thinner and thinner to the point where it's like microscopic.
I've dabbled in that type of stash a couple times, and I guarantee you, I was a very sleazy character.
You got to the reason why I shaved for the very first time. My dad
Why?
gave me a shape up, and he gave me like one of those pencil thin stashes because that's what he was rocking. And I was like, no, this isn't me, man. This is not me.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Well, Noli in the comments suggests, Pharaoh, that if you're trying to decide whether you should shave, you should consult with your romantic partner.
Yeah, that's the main reason I don't rock a beard.
That hurts so much. That comment hurts so much.
Hey, nice stash there, Sleeves.
Right, it's terrible, right?
Wait a minute, is that a new stash on Zoom?
It might. I think they thickened them up a little bit.
Oh,
Wait, is it just a stash, or is there more going on there?
she's
This
rocking
is just
the
the
full-on-
stash. But yeah, then you can change it around. This one is terrifying.
I couldn't tell if it was coming down.
You look like you're ready to join the Force, I'd say.
Which Force?
Space Force? I don't know.
All of these beards are like weirdly unfull.
I'm getting like a Chris Cornell here for some reason. What does anybody see that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. That
Yeah.
so much.
How about that?
Is that
Good for you.
the guy from
Is it
Soundgarden?
wrong that I'm
Yeah.
spacing on who that is?
He's the guy
Black
from
Hole
Soundgarden,
Sun!
but I can't imagine what he looks
Oh
like.
yeah, there we
We
go.
lost him a couple of years ago. Not that long ago.
There we go.
COVID number one.
Back to stash though.
Uh-oh. Oh, geez.
It might
So-
actually work.
Is this something I can do? Can I do this?
Yeah.
If you got that
If
newest
you got the
version of
latest version,
Zoom,
then you can do that.
Speaking of things we do now, besides the gritty emote, we also have a Pharaoh. Brian Pharaoh is an emote
Oh, wait,
on our Twitch
there we go.
stream.
it is. Unfortunately, that is only like tier 2 or tier 3.
Mhm.
So
You have to subscribe
yes,
to our channel to be able to use it.
that's right.
Because I'm special.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
here we go.
It is a great one though. Send that one flying across the screen again there, Wrench.
Okay, let me throw some in here. Throw some Brian Pharaohs on you.
Yeah.
Pharaoh. Pew.
Pew.
Should come up in the next 2 to 3 hours.
That's right. It seems to have gotten better. There we go. There's Pharaoh with the teal glasses bouncing around. I love that. I love that where Pharaoh's like,
Can I read from the comments? Can I say more stuff about Tony Rice? Because
Yeah.
how much time do we have?
Go for it.
So Wendy on Facebook says that Tony did a Q&A at Strawberry Music Fest in California, and somebody asked him about whether he could read music, and he said he couldn't read music. He said, "I just do my thing, and people ask me to play with them."
Mhm.
That's so good, man. I mean,
Oh god.
oh no, put your mask back on. It's dangerous.
Oh, that mustache
Dangerous
is
and also
catching.
terrifying.
It's nice. Yes.
That's what we need.
No.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I guess I need another upgrade. I don't have that.
Pharaoh, is that what your dad
That
looks
one's
like?
that one's under video filters, I think. D.
You look just like a younger version of your dad.
You know what? It's I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of close.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't have to use filters to have
Okay,
real,
I see it.
so I'm just gonna not mess with this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Who needs filters when you have dope backgrounds?
Yeah.
Who needs backgrounds when you
Mm-hmm.
That was great. by
Also,
the way.
I don't. I whipped this out last weekend, but I don't think everybody's seen it yet. What is coming through the mail these days?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Yeah.
No time for
Yes.
enemies.
Disappearing
Vinyl
vinyl.
records. Vinyl records are in existence.
yes.
Yes, many long delays, but they are on the way. My understanding is the post office is still clearing up the residual delays from having been from the attempted destruction of the post office.
We're still waiting on Christmas stuff here, so that's just what it is.
You know what we should have done? We should have combined voting and Christmas cards. We should have just done Christmas votes.
Yep.
Just send each other Christmas votes. I don't know how that would work. I just spitballing. I just think that would be it would have reduced the load by half.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the two big things. And then with that out of the way, then we could send our vinyls out to people.
There's no possible problem with that plan.
Nope.
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 I think that's ready to submit to Congress right now.
Christmas votes.
Well, some members of Congress do want to disenfranchise a lot of people, so they will probably get on board.
You've got a Trump signature waiting.
I hate that, like, I can't even make that joke that, like, because on some level somebody be like, yes, Christmas votes, and now we're going to destroy America. Like, no, man, I was just joking about Christmas votes. You know, like, don't take that seriously. but it's so hard. It's so hard when you really feel like you have to put disclaimer on so many things. I don't want to say everything, but like
You know who that happened to in a big way?
Clorox.
I was going to say the entirety of the Obama campaign when all their tactics got used against them and with Trump. So yes.
well, but that's a case of tools being tools. Tools are not good or bad, just tools.
True.
Yeah.
You know?
You can use a hammer to hang up a photo on the wall,
you
or you
have
can
not-
use it to bash somebody's brains out.
You have not used an evil chainsaw before, I see.
I see. Yeah. But the Obama campaign, I'll venture to say, they did not invent the evil chainsaw.
That's right. That was in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Really? Is that actually the
actually,
first
that was a good
historical
chainsaw.
appearance? Of the evil
Ash's chainsaw, I think, has ended up being a force for good. Right?
Yep.
By the way,
Evil Dead fans out there?
That and the boomstick.
Yes. This is my boomstick. And for those that don't know, towards the end of Evil Dead 2, the movie, the main character defending himself from demons gets his hand cut off and duct tapes a chainsaw in its place and just rocks it from there.
That is one of the epitomes of badassery right there. I feel like that's on the badassery wall of fame.
I'm not sure I like using badass for pure evil murderousness. Like, I prefer to pick whether badass is good or bad.
I don't think badass has an alignment, and
Really?
if it did, it would
Badass
probably
is
be
bad.
like if badass or badassery has an alignment, it's probably chaotic neutral, for sure.
Interesting. Okay, fair point. And I have my connotations of it are all positive, but I may have to reevaluate that.
Yeah, that's on you.
I'll just share the image for a second here if I can.
Yes, please.
I gotta open it up on my computer first. I'll get better at this. There we go. Okay, so here's Ash. After that,
There you go.
chainsaw for a hand. I don't know how we got on that topic, but it's worth
Tools can be used for good or evil. Because Farrow was saying that, a lot of the parts of the Trump campaign are sort of directly like the logical progression to follow the Obama campaign. I just want to say I'm kind of impressed that the Biden campaign was so boring. I was really afraid of whatever the next campaign to follow the Trump campaign was just going to be. They would somehow break the dial off of the machine. Just
wait.
Turn it.
Yeah, that's 2024.
Yeah.
But it was, right. I mean, it's a pendulum, so we're over here now.
But we're not really. Like
No, Trump maintained that side of the pendulum for 2020.
Yeah, like the whole clock is tilted.
Yeah, there could be more coming. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about January 6th.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was a side effect of the pandemic being on, because part of the Biden campaign strategy was like, put him in a bunker. People will make fun of him for being in a bunker for a while, and then by November, people will be like, "Oh, that was smart," and the other guy will have caught the disease and not look so good for that and whatnot. It was a strategy.
He wasn't really in a bunker. I mean, I'm not just
No,
saying
but he was not
literally,
out.
but he also
was not out holding rallies. He
Right.
was not, and that's probably
'Cause
why
it
it
was
felt
smart.
like a very understated campaign, because he did sit back and play it cool.
and because I feel like it was in a lot of ways hard to get, like the fullness of political news, because so much was there was so much noise on the like, what crazy thing is Giuliani doing right now, and what new administration member has gotten COVID, and it was just. I mean, I've been spending a year trying to teach Google News what I care about, and it's still not right.
What are you telling it, and what is it not getting, and what do you care about? Because I would be interested to know that. I feel like the whole world of personalized recommendations. I mean, for us, I have to say out loud, transparently, personalized recommendations is a huge thing that brings people to Gangstagrass, right? And
maybe,
it works
and
out
probably
a lot of the
also
time.
keeps people away from Gangstagrass because it
Unfortunately,
because it
I'm
assumes
sure that's
this person
true.
doesn't like stuff with this kind of beat, or this
Right.
person doesn't like anything with a banjo. So like
Yeah.
the siloing, I think, is just like in news, it's not helpful because you're not getting exposed to things that you might get exposed to otherwise. But like world news, I care enormously about world news, and as far as Google can tell, all I care about is the UK, and like that's pretty much it. So anytime it gives me something, I'm constantly trying to search for world news because of course I'm not getting it any other way. But I think because I lived in Australia, I get a bunch of Australian news, but that's it.
There is a paper that you can get world news weekly from. It goes by the name of the Weekly World News. You might want to check it out.
Sasquatch, I care very much about Sasquatch. Yes, exactly. Yeah, but it knows that I care about Macs, so it's like constantly telling me about the new Apple Silicon, but I don't actually care about that because I got a new MacBook or a new iMac knowing that was coming. So like I don't care at all about that, but it keeps telling me, and I keep telling it less, but it just, I want some page, and if you guys know where this is, let me know in the chat. Some page on Google where I can be extremely specific about what I care about. And, like, sure, I want to know about rugby every once in a while, but I don't want every rugby story. But I do want every story about, how Africa is handling COVID, which seems to be significantly better than how everybody else is handling it. I do want, every story about North Korean nuclear tests and what's happening between India and Pakistan and China. Like, yeah, I want all of that, and I don't really get any of it thanks to whatever silo I somehow ended up in. Does it tell me about Survivor, which I also don't care about? Yes, it does.
What you've been watching?
I watched it like a year, like at the beginning of the pandemic. I watched like 3 seasons of it, and now Google thinks I really care about that, which I super don't.
One thing I'd like to
Survivor's still a
mention-
thing.
It's on hiatus right now because they cannot safely film during a pandemic because they can't do the same kind of isolation that they do with other, with other reality shows like the godforsaken
Is it poor taste
Bachelorette.
to
I'm
make a
shocked
joke
that
about
it's
how
still
there
a
are no
thing.
survivors?
I didn't know that they were still on.
I think they
after all
just had
these years.
season 40.
Yeah, it definitely feels like 40 years.
It's been like 20 years. They've done about 2
Yeah,
seasons
no,
a year.
I know.
But yeah. Yeah.
But I want to say though, with reality shows, like Great British Baking Show did a whole season this year, and everybody isolated. They went to the tent and they lived in a little cute British baking village together.
British baking village.
I would live in a tent and then move into a cute British baking village.
I would
That's right,
love
I
to
said
love
it.
The British baking
Cute
village.
British baking village.
Isn't there a
Said
word
it.
for that?
I'll say it again. Anyway, yeah, no, they all they locked up for like 7 weeks, and then they were able to do the show, completely the same. Like they were all near each other and baking food that the judges would eat, all in the tent at the same time, and it worked. They were able to do it. So
That's good. Now
stuff
with
can
this
be done.
now with this more contagious strain though, it'll be interesting to see.
I'd like to mention real quick, because this has been on my mind a bunch lately. I forget what got me on this a couple of days ago, but because technology is so poor at really like trying to find what we're actually searching for out of it.
Like your
especially
head.
Yeah, right. I just think the whole integrative scene, people wanting to integrate these technologies in our lives so much. I'm just like, can we just like wait until it's cool? Like we can like shoot a keyboard out of our fingertips and type or something before we want to like staple a smartphone to our chest? That's the argument I want to make.
I don't care what you say, Pharaoh. I'm stapling a smartphone to my chest.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
I'm enjoying envisioning right now with technology, right? Like assuming that AI is going to rise up and enslave us. Somewhere out there right now is an AI talking to the other AIs, like, guys, we got to get together. Like, we're going to take over. We're going to organize. All right. So we need to break through their first line of defense. You, Richard 3197 AI. Is this a stoplight? It's like, that's a crosswalk. Oh, guys, we're not gonna. This is not gonna work.
So you know the CAPTCHA. My favorite CAPTCHA is when it asks you. You have to say, "I'm not a robot." And
Right.
you do it by clicking the little check mark that says,
Right. And
"I'm
then
not
it's
a
like,
robot."
okay, you're not.
So okay, you're not, right? Why do they do that? They do that not because robots can't click the box, and not because robots have to obey the Asimov laws of robotics and not lie to us. Actually, I don't think that any of the laws of robotics are that you can't lie to humans. But anyway, the reason they do that is because robots are actually better than us at checking the box.
So they check it like immediately?
If you watch, they're actually watching your mouse move to the box.
Yeah.
And they see, doop, like the mouse just goes straight line, like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, click, And so you, hapless, doofy human, are just like, oh, let me move my mouse. Oh, it's going to take me 10 seconds to hit them. I can't click on the box. I finally clicked it. And that's how they know that you're not a robot.
I love that I'm proving I'm not a robot by my ineptitude at clicking the box fast enough.
But wait, sometimes when you click that box, it gives you the CAPTCHA anyway. Does that mean that, like, on those instances, I very exquisitely checked that box?
It means you're a very advanced robot, Steve.
It could be that your positioning of the mouse was in the same position as it was before. I've written a bunch of integration tests that do this, and we end up having to, mimic the behavior, but basically recording a movement of a human to checking the box so that the integration test can go smoothly.
Do you also cut off the thumb of a dead man and hold it up to the thumbprint scanner, or
Actually, no, because that doesn't work. See,
spoon out somebody's eyeball and hold it up to the...
Not that I've tried it, but what it is that it's not actually reading a fingerprint, it's reading the blood flow.
Ooh.
Wow.
So using a dead thumb will not get you into a thumbprint scanner.
All right.
Anybody who was thinking of doing such a thing.
Remember, beat
It only
him over
works
the
in
head.
movies. It
Oh, but
only
not
works
you.
in movies.
That blows a plot hole in several things that I've been watching.
It only works in movies.
I like that we're so far beyond the don't inject yourself with bleach, irresponsible live streaming. Like, we're all the way over to, if you're gonna cut off somebody's thumb and use it on a thumbprint scanner, make sure there's blood circulating through it somehow.
Well, so what you need to do, and I believe a friend of mine from back in the day, like, cracked the iPhone thumbprint.
I'm just saying
way.
the last season of Dora the Explorer doesn't make sense now.
Gross. No spoilers. But you have
Can
to
you
like
say amputate?
you have to make like a silicone or something kind of, imprint of the thumbprint, and then put that like a thin basically put a thin copy of the thumbprint on your own thumb, and then you get the blood flow and the correct thumbprint.
Well, that's what James Bond did. I mean, that's like 1960s tech.
Sounds better than cutting people's fingers off, but that's very dark. That's very dark.
Or you knock the guy out,
On
strap him to your
Gangstagrass.tv.
back, knock the guy out, strap him to your chest in a gigantic baby Bjorn.
And then staple that to your chest.
And staple
Like a
that to your
smartphone.
chest.
But then there's like how many
Problem
guys,
solved.
and how many locks with different thumbprints. So you end up with 5 guys strapped all around you.
We
just
gotta
so
drag
they
around
can
all the
lead you
dead
through the hallway.
knocked out guys.
Open secret is that's how Five Guys Burgers got their name.
No.
You heard it here on Gangstagrass.tv.
That's true.
No.
I believe we found that out in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
at the Five Guys in
Everybody.
Chattanooga.
Five guys stapled each other to each other's chests so they could foil a thumbprint scanner, and then they discovered they made good burgers too.
Gangstagrass Pete's, tell everybody.
I'm not sure if that's canon or if it's legends.
Yeah.
I think it's
For-
canon.
For
I
my
saw it
Star
on the
Wars
wall
fans
once.
out there. What?
I saw it on the wall of the Five Guys once. One of the, they have like the magazine articles
Right.
about, yeah.
The fifth guy's name was Grogu.
So, real quick, I don't understand this conversation that's going on in the comments with Quiet Horse that was saying, "Come to Washington, I will show you where you can see some hard to define things and stuff."
That
What
makes,
was that about?
I mean,
I
you've
think we
been
may
to
have seen that
Portland.
stuff.
Yeah, you've been to Portland. You know exactly what Quiet Horse is talking about.
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff.
You've been to Grants Pass. You know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, that was
I
I
feel like
believe the Quiet Horse 80 is Nolly D.
Yes, that's
So,
correct.
uh,
If anything,
Ah.
Seattle is like calmer than the rest of the Pacific Northwest, it seems to me. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like I believe that like there's still hard to define things and stuff, but I feel confident that we could handle them. Like dicks, I would count dicks as a hard to define thing and stuff.
Say what?
Remember dicks and
That's
oh wait,
hard.
no, you weren't. That was when
We're not doing phrasing. There
that
you
was
go.
when
Yeah,
you
there you
weren't
go.
there. Remember the like 30-cent cheeseburgers at 2:00 in the morning?
What?
Oh,
Why did I
like,
remember that?
When I flew into Seattle to meet you guys, that was
Yeah.
like I could see dicks from the air.
Now I'm remembering it.
Are we all children? Are we all children?
I'm sorry. It's just
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
we are
Happy
children.
New Year. We've changed. We've all grown.
Bringing you the hard topics.
After hours. No, that was a great place. They had let me
Going
think,
deep.
trying to remember how their milkshakes were. I think they were all right. They were like, I don't know, better than I would have expected, considering that they're like sort of soft servy type of milkshakes. And the burgers were pretty good, right?
Had
The
all those boys
burgers
in
were
the yard, so we
passable.
thought they had good milkshakes.
Fries were good, maybe. I think the burgers were messy. I think there was like a lot of sauces and stuff, which
And you had to
for me,
pay
a
for
messy
every
burger's-
single sauce. Is my
Yeah,
remember?
messy
Oh,
burgers
remember?
are good
They're the
burgers.
ones who used the caulking gun to sauce the burgers.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
right.
now I remember.
Yeah, they were an industrial operation, and so they've got a gun for every sauce, and they're just like boom, 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 boom. There's your burger. Get out of here. And I was
Makes
just
sense,
like,
Carl.
wait, I want a little bit.
Makes
No, I
sense,
went back and I
No.
asked for more sauce, and they had to squirt the caulking gun into a little takeaway cup, and I just like sandblasting an ant. Hold still.
Yeah, I miss dicks.
Ah.
Well, quarantine's been hard, you know.
Is that there? We were playing quick like a
What
quick.
the hell is going on over there?
It's getting
They,
later.
they also really miss dicks. They
Yeah.
also really do.
So,
I mean, don't worry. Someday we'll be able to tour again, and we'll be eating dicks in no time.
Wow.
Oh my god. I love that place.
Oh, man. I miss you guys.
Here.
anyway, somebody was saying something a moment ago. Is that right?
Oh, I was saying that we were playing at game night, my New Year's Eve game night. We were playing a game of Quick Wit on the Jackbox TV, and the category was name of a fast food restaurant where they don't wear pants. And I said Hardee's.
You said what?
Hardee's.
Oh.
Oh.
My.
The other one was NSFW, so I won't tell you what the other person said.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We also played an epic game of draw phone, which I miss. We should do more of that at some point.
Yeah.
Bring the folks. Do an event. We could do like draw phone events.
I think we're pretty good for tonight. We've test driving our new swanky backdrops.
Or a backdrop.
Yeah. And welcoming in 2021, which will be a whole new year of new experiences coming at you from Gangstagrass.
Yes.
More music, more fun, more weirdness.
And everything will be different, and we won't ever have to change anything or try or do any work or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And things will just get better on their own.
And in the words of Wilford Brimley, we won't get any older and we won't ever die.
What? Is that Cocoon or the Diabetes?
Yeah, that's from Cocoon. Yeah.
That definitely sounds like a guy with a mustache. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I forgot Donna Michi was in that movie too. Breakdancing. Don't you remember that?
It's been a long time.
I've never seen.
Yeah, they had old guy breakdancing and
all I remember is some big things in a swimming pool, and Wilford Brimley saying, "We won't get older and we won't ever die." That's all I can tell you about Cocoon right now.
It's Steve Guttenberg.
Wait. Oh, is that who I'm thinking? I was gonna ask if Jeff Goldblum was in that, or if I'm just mixing it up with The Fly, because The Fly and Cocoon are like obviously basically the same thing.
They're basically the same thing. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Okay,
Wasn't the
right
lady
there with
from
you.
Driving Miss Daisy in that too?
Jessica Tandy? Yes, I think she
Yeah.
was. I haven't seen it.
I think she was in that too. Was she breakdancing too?
Anyway,
By the way, anybody.
Yeah,
that's,
Cocoon was actually breaking 3.
The later years.
If anybody out there is of my age group, you have to check out Fly. It stands the test of time, really.
What?
A lot.
Fly?
Yeah, it's good.
Or the Fly?
Yeah,
The
the
Fly.
Fly.
Now we know
Oh,
that.
the Fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Fly.
Wait,
And
you
now
really
that we
think I
know
should
that
see it?
Cocoon is breaking to The Fly 3, we can just hit everything in one go.
I just
So
both of those movies
No,
sound
Breaking 3
disgusting.
and Fly 2.
Both of those movies sound gross. Am I wrong
Breaking
about
2
this?
flies 3 times. What?
I would watch a movie called Fly that was like about the Fly Girls from In Living Color.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And
But
I think
they-
what we got to bring in here is a little movie called Earth Girls Are Easy,
Oh, yes.
which is for the real heads out there who want Jeff Goldblum and
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis
I love
and
Gina Davis.
and Julie Brown.
Oh, yeah. Julie
Downtown
Brown.
Julie Brown?
Not downtown Julie Brown.
The other Julie Brown.
There was another Julie Brown.
Yes.
And yep. And Jim, what's his face?
Carol
Carrie.
Jim.
Jim Carrey.
Oh.
Oh.
Wonderfully terrible movie.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, real quick. Speaking of Jim Carrey, really quick answer each. What is the last movie that everybody saw in a theater? I'll start. Sonic the Hedgehog. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. That's what made me think of it.
Uh-huh.
Who's next?
Who has a mustache, I believe,
Yeah, an epic mustache.
and
That's
is
what
a
came
bad
to-
guy.
Yeah, what's your point?
Hey, I think we've just proved it.
I think what was the last movie I saw in theater?
Mine was the last one Gangstagrass saw. Whichever one we all saw in a theater together was the last one I
Is
saw.
that Black Panther?
But to be fair,
Oh, it was.
we weren't
I think it was-
watching it.
No, it was the Avengers
It was
Endgame.
Endgame,
Endgame.
yeah.
I was just having trouble watching it because you wouldn't tell me who anybody was.
What?
Yep.
What do you mean?
Because that was the
we
movie
did
where
that whole tutorial before.
I would like to
Yes.
thank Dan for falling on that grenade for me.
we know now that I cannot sit next to Dan during a movie.
Mm.
We now know this. Dolio's very nice about it. Dolio's always willing to tell me who people are. He'll
Yeah,
even preempt it. Like
I'm
as
trying to
soon as
remember,
a new
did Coco
person comes
come
on the
after that?
screen.
Because I did see Coco in the theater.
Oh no, Coco
Ooh,
was
I don't
before that.
remember.
That was the last-
Cleves and Dolio have very similar, like TV show movie watching approach, which is to put something on over there, and then start doing something else and having a conversation while it's on in the background.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yep. Yeah. No, Coco was 2 years before Endgame.
Okay, so it must have been Endgame. That had to be it then.
Endgame, right? God, that was so confusing. Oh my God, there were so many characters. How?
Yeah, I mean, it was
are you
like
supposed
20
to keep
years
them
in
all
the making.
straight?
Yeah, I mean, it is the culmination of 20 movies.
Of the
Ah.
entire franchise of other movies.
Right.
Uh,
You really have to start at Iron Man and then work your way forward.
You do. You do.
You know, I mean, if you're going to build a decade-long movie franchise of dozens of movies, you got to expect that you release the final one, and then something has to happen to make movies not happen anymore,
I was going
Right.
to say the same thing, but about Sonic the Hedgehog.
right? But we also got the end of the Star Wars series,
Yeah.
so
Sort of.
yeah. Well, at least the trilogy of trilogies.
Yeah, before the next trilogy,
Right.
Yeah.
which is happening, but they're like retconning.
That might have been the last thing I saw in the theater. Because
What,
that was
Star
after Endgame, right?
Okay.
The last Star Wars.
Okay. And then you two saw Endgame. Pharaoh, what was the last movie you saw in a theater? Please be more current than these.
Theaters
Nice
are gross.
Well, yeah, problem is I live in Philadelphia, and going to the theater in Philadelphia is usually a regrettable experience.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Which is why, by the way, you both mentioned going to a movie on tour.
Right.
Pharaoh, you still there? What do you got?
It's frozen.
Oh, he froze.
Yeah.
All right.
Aw.
I missed the discount movie theater in Midtown Manhattan. That was like a $2 movie thing.
Like second run movies? Like
Yeah,
Blu-ray
yeah,
movie?
yeah. Where you would go and there would be a lot of talking through the movie and cheering and booing and whatnot. It was great.
Oh snap! I'm wrong. I did see a different movie in the theater, but
What was that?
I'm not sure if I should count it. I mean, it was a documentary.
Sure. Is it in the theater?
Like a
Yes,
premiere.
it was in the theater. It was during a film festival.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually,
It was a
technically,
movie my wife produced and directed.
maybe the last thing that I saw in a room that would qualify as a theater was when we were in Bend, Oregon, and our backstage was a theater. It was a little micro theater, and we watched the Sturgill Simpson Sound and Fury video.
Oh, yeah.
Anime. But I watched Sonic the Hedgehog after that, so still Sonic for me. But that was really cool. That was a very cool thing. Well, now that I have my answer, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yes. Welcome to 2021, everybody.
It might look like 2020, but it ends in 1.
Yeah,
This big zero has
So-
turned into a big 1. So
yeah. Just remember that when you're signing your checks and contracts. Wait a minute. Am I spinning tomorrow?
Oh,
yeah,
I
we got
believe you
a
are. You've got the first
Saturday
DJ
afternoon
set.
dance party with Dolio.
3 p.m. right here, gangstagrass.tv.
And
Sorry, I lost my internet connection for a
Oh,
second.
hey, close up.
And I'm
I thought we were
gonna
getting taken out one by one for a second there.
and I'm gonna jump back in on, I think it's Wednesday night, although I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with the evening thing. I have a kid now, so I might actually shift to a more daytime, like family friendly time slot. Then I might even experiment with more family friendly content. Just that's where my head's at these days. So
Or it could be stuff about parenting, whatnot.
yeah, about parenting, you know. So, you know, let me know in the comments, send me suggestions, because I'm very impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking of switching to a cooking show at some point.
I think you should invite guests on and talk to them about kid stuff.
Yep.
Invite kids on. That's the funny.
And
I
invite
mean, I have a guest, but he can't talk yet, so
he can grab, so
he did just start grabbing.
we're in business.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Which is why I started shaving the size of my head.
Yeah.
When my son was born, he was very grabby.
Totally fair.
And
Totally fair.
Yep.
yeah, they get the.
You also stopped wearing hoop earrings, I noticed.
Only the
Missed
really
that.
big hoop earrings.
That's not, you don't want that just yanked out.
It's been a while since I wore hoop earrings. I think the last. Yeah, I mean, I think it was back in the Battlestar days. I was still wearing them.
I cannot picture that at all.
That's also the last time I was wearing the thin, pencil thin mustache.
Mm-hmm.
That was evil, Dolio.
Definitely. Hoop earring. That's pirate, but you have an eye patch too.
They weren't big ones. Fun fact, I did used to wear an eye patch.
Was it for the practical reason that pirates wore them? That is to be able to see in the dark very quickly?
It was because of a surgical procedure I had on my eye.
Oh. Well, that's much less entertaining. Did it go okay? Are you still wearing the eye patch?
I mean, the chip is still there, but they did disable it.
That's a good reminder. Get your vaccines, because No Time for Enemies is in the vaccine.
Yep. We're putting Gangstagrass in the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest conspiracy you are ever going to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of the microchips, it is happening. So we've got Dolio tomorrow at 3 p.m. at gangstagrass.tv. We've got our son, as we were talking about earlier, doing an MF Doom retrospective and honor piece on Tuesday.
Mine might be a kind of a tribute set to everybody we lost this year. Well, not everybody, but
nice.
I would really like to hear that MF Doom Tony Rice mix, if you can make that happen.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to pick out some good sounds.
Yeah.
Some good compatible tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
All right.
And then Friday back here, and so on, and something on probably Wednesday. So keep an eye on the social medias at Gangstagrass everywhere. So if you aren't already following on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, here on Twitch, click the heart and follow, and you will be notified when Danjo goes live with his parenting something. I'm really excited to see what you do, Danjo.
Oh, me too.
Yes, indeed.
Me too. I if I approach this live stream the same way I approach parenting, it will get done.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, it's gonna have a clean diaper on it. That's for sure.
Welcome to How Things Get Done.
I don't have kids, but I do have a band. So
Of adult children.
yes.
Yep.
We are very childish.
no, more like cats.
Bedtime.
Awesome and cool. So yeah, we'll see you here at 3 p.m. tomorrow.
Diddy. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
Farewell
New Year.
for now.
Merry New Year.
Good night.
Ah.